First off, before we get started, I want to say it's great to be back at the studio after reporting from and doing the show 2 times from out of the studio. This was actually my third time doing this. Second time was outside the scene zone. The third was last year during the graduation. So it's spectacular to be back in the studio. I may do this again one day. I gotta say, it's great to be back. So that is basically, it's great to be back in the studio. So I'm glad to come back. But the show's still the same, hasn't been changed. But there is some great news though. Friday, a couple of days ago, I went to a restaurant in Hamilton Watch, but I could have done a show from there, but with all loud noises, and I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to get everybody involved. I didn't want the manager to come up there and say, "Get that blanking camera out of my blanking face before I blank and throw you the blank out." And I said, "No, just I'm not gonna do that again." Besides, it'd be too much for me to carry. I had a table, a bag, a stand like this, and a chair. But if I hadn't get my guitar stand and a 10-foot Type-C charger, we wouldn't be doing a show like this. But in the future, there will be times where we report from outside the studio. So be on the lookout for that in several days. But let's get started here. All right. 2 days ago, I talked to you guys about cyber safety. After hearing from a Facebook and Instagram post saying that there's going to be a cyber safety thing going on, I did a 1-day Coming Break investigation into cyber safety. Why parents don't monitor their kids on the internet and why they're not doing it, and why people put passwords on it. Let me tell you something. You don't need to put passwords on it. And that's just outrageous. Putting a password on your child's phone. I mean, you gave them the phone, right? They have to lock it their own so that they cannot be hacked. But if you put a password on their phone, then you're being way too strict. You don't lighten up a lot. But I also gave out some tips, done some research prior to this story, and giving you guys a lot of information here. So if you think you're going to be more outrageous and say that you don't got your facts straight, well, let me tell you. You want to get smart with me, not tell me that I don't have my facts straight. Well, let me tell you, okay? I mean, I have the research right here from another website. I was going to put it in the description below, but then the semifinals kicked in and I didn't have time to work. But we're going to keep on doing this, so we're going to continue where we left off from Thursday. And which is all about the money if you're having money reports. Put your money in your account. So always monitor your credit reports. If you want to see who's making inquiries in your credit, you can request for your credit report from any of the 3 national credit reporting companies like Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. If you want extra protection, a credit freeze is effective in the line. 7/2018 is Doe There's no cost. Learn how to freeze your account for free. Be on the lookout for unusual statements or bills. Also, you need to shred documents containing financial and personal information like ATM receipts, bank and credit card statements, paid bills or invoices, pay stubs, credit offers. Also, if you're traveling, you also got to make sure that you use a lot of caution here. You're more vulnerable to certain types of fraud and identity theft while traveling. If you want to protect your identity online while traveling, take extra precautions. Let your bank know where you're going, how long you're going to be going. That's what the post office told you mail. If any bills are due while you're gone, see if you can plan payments before you leave. Observe extra safety measures to protect your personalized information. If you need to pay a bill online, make sure you're connected to a secure Wi-Fi network. Ask your hotel if your room has a safe. And use safe to protect valuables and extra cash when you're not in your room. Boot may not be an option. Exercise caution when using your debit card to pay local vendors and retailers. When in doubt, pay with cash. Carry copies of important travel documents. Make sure to store them separately in the original version. It's also a good idea to have a digital copy of your passport and store it on a in case. Just trying to make sure that you know what you're doing when you're traveling so that you don't get scammed or not look at some unusual charges that you make. In 60 seconds, we're going to tell you how you can get involved in your child's online activities with some tips and some help and some expert advice from the experts. The very most important thing you have to do when monitoring kids' is to make sure you don't be putting a computer right by in their room or right by the kitchen. Try to put it in like a safe place or a safe environment so that people can understand like this. These are basic guidelines to show your kids for safe online use. Like, follow the family rules and those set by the internet service provider. Never post or trade personal pictures. Never reveal personal information such as address, phone number, or school name or location. Use only a screen name. Don't share passwords other than parents. And don't share it with your friends. Never agree to get together in person with anyone met online without a parent approval supervision. Never respond to a threatening email message, post, or text. Unplug. That out there, that is a virtual world. If you're going on chat rooms and they say, I want you, like, they call you up and they say, I want you to hang up. That is a virtual world. A lot of people commit suicide because of bullying. Always tell a parent or another trusted adult about any communication or conversation that was scary or hurtful. Don't punish them for it. And for parental supervision, these are the basic guidelines. You need to spend time online together to teach your kids about appropriate online behavior. Keep a computer in a common area where you can watch and monitor its use, like not in individual bedrooms. Monitor any time spent on smartphones or tablets. Bookmark kids' favorite sites for easy access like Cartoon Network, Disney Channel. Check your credit card and phone bills for unfamiliar account charges. If that happens, you got to change your. If there's any unusual charges, you change your account immediately. Find out what if any online protection is offered in your child's school, after school center, friends' homes, or any place where kids can use a computer without your supervision. Take your child seriously if he or she reports uncomfortable online exchange. And I know a few seasons ago we talked about online predators. And one tip I gave you guys, have you and your child can watch an episode of To Catch a Predator. I'd strongly encourage you to do this. I will provide links to Catch a Predator episodes in the description below, so that you can watch it with your kids and say to them, this is what you can do This is what happens when people do this. This is what happens when people can do that. And that's why there are laws on this and that and the other. These warnings sometimes can include spending long hours online, especially at night. Phone calls people don't know. If that happens, block them. And if people follow you, and if random people follow you on Instagram, you need to check out the profile of, check out the bio, and they message you how you doing, block them. I know I've been targeted, I've been hacked before, but if your Instagram account or any social media account gets hacked, you need to change your passwords very often. Unsolicited gifts arriving in the mail. If these arrive to you and you never ordered them, then I don't know. But there is a thing called to catch an ID. People have that in the description below. Your child suddenly turning off the computer when you walk into the room. That happens to you. If that happens. So what were you doing on there? And I was just watching an educational video. Watch turn and something like that. Withdrawal from family life and reload kids to discuss online activities. Talk to your kids and keep an open line of communication. Make sure you feel comfortable turning to you when they problems they have. You can't punish them. I mean, many kids are afraid that they'll punish their parents will punish them because of this. So that's basically the truth. As kids get older, it's a little trickier to monitor what they spend time online. They may carry a smartphone with them all the time, probably want and need some privacy. Healthy and noble thing is becoming more independent from their parents. And they can revoke a safe virtual environment, explore some newfound. Just talk about the sites and apps teens are used to experience their online experiences. Discuss the dangers of interacting with strangers online, and remind them that people online don't always tell the truth. Explain that passwords are to protect against things like identity theft. They should never share with everyone, even a boyfriend, girlfriend, or a best friend. Only mom and dad. And a lot of these tips, I'm going to try my best to follow them all as best I can. Don't give anyone your password, name, address, name, your school, any information from family. Don't talk to strangers on the internet. Don't agree to meet anyone in person unless you met online. Don't fill out ask for name and email address. Don't visit a child without an adult or parent supervision or your guardian. Don't stay online and see someone you think your parents won't like. Don't post pictures of yourself without parents' permission. Do not download or install anything to your computer without your parents' permission. If you have any questions about something you read, ask a parent or guardian. If you're talking to someone online that make you uncomfortable, remember, you don't always have to talk back to them. Just block them. I will not, and these are like a contract. We're not giving out information. I'm not telling my parents right away. I'm helping my parents because it's part of the law. And that concludes part 2 of cyber safety. And when you follow these tips, we can all make sure to have a healthy and safety life. And I have the research right here, and looking through all this research in a 4x6 card. And these 4x6 cards, it really startled me, from Latinos and often blacks more often. And so when doing this research, I find that most people don't often monitor their kids. They do a great job. Still ahead, airport security, what you need to know. While I was eating pizza and wings, I came across a Dateline report back in 1996 of a 2-part hidden camera investigation into poor supervision of airports following 3 crashes, 1995, 1980-something, and 1980-something. Why aren't airports doing anything? I mean, there are steps people must take, and people are quickly hired without any background checks or 15 years of 15 years of employee experience. And you have to verify in running like what happened. So Dateline did a story about this, and kind of surprised me. No training, little supervision, and basically makes me sick. And nothing was being done about it. Now I look at another story, which they never even aired it because of the freaking commercial crap. And I mean, you now have people who, someone who can just go in undercover, go in without any special ID. Now when people do this, they have to be supervised, like escort them, because they don't want to see any crap happening. But things have to happen. If you're traveling, you need to make sure that you're following security protocols provided by the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration. And they're experts on this, I tell you. They've done a lot of cases on this, and I know. And if you want to see that report, I'll find a link in the description below. Let's go back to our old videos, to our old episodes from mainly a lot of seasons ago. Now, last time we focused in on a lot about dress code violations in our schools, because basically somebody says we have a right to, you should have a right to wear whatever we want, equal rules for all, blah blah blah. But a lot of these people don't understand. It's a government-based school, and the school has a right to punish those who violate the rules. And again, you want to go out there and protest saying, oh, this, that, and the other. Say, oh, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. You don't have the right to protest. You may have a right in some schools, but if you start to protest, stuff happens. Try to understand this. There's a school dress code controversy that happened 8 months ago, back in March. Teenage girls have been taken out of class, sent to dean's office to change clothes, face suspension. And it's the focus of online students calling for a change. So here's news for Jacks.
Over the dress code at Bartram Trail High School, students say teenage girls are being taken out of class and sent to the dean's office to change clothes or face suspension. That's the focus of this online petition created by students calling for change. News4JAX reporter Zach Lashway joins us live from outside the school. And Zach, you reached out to the district after hearing from a student who says she had an uncomfortable experience?
Yeah, Mary, this student says she was actually taken out of class, was asked by a staff member of the school to unzip her jacket in front of others. She also says this is happening to other female students. This student, who we are not naming or showing, says she was walking in a hallway at Bartram Trail High School with her jacket fully zipped when she was asked to unzip the garment. In her words, she says, "I was wearing a tight sports bra underneath. That's it. I was stopped by a male teacher and he told me, 'You're very out of dress code.'" The student says she asked how and was then sent to a female teacher who approved of her attire and sent her back to class. The student says minutes later, the male teacher pulled her from class and told her to unzip her jacket in front of people in the main hallway. The student says she said she would rather not, as she was wearing only a sports bra. She said staff members kept asking her to unzip the jacket. She said when she did, she was told what she was wearing was incredibly inappropriate. The text the student sent News4Jax says, I was walked downstairs, got it taken, which was my bra, and was told I have detention.
Today, we were all wearing zip-up jackets and tank tops to, see what they would do about it, and they dress coded me today.
How did that make you feel?
Like, I feel like I'm profiled.
Tina Gordon wrote, this is disgusting and humiliating. This mom is tired of it. Several students, including boys wearing wigs and girls' clothing, demonstrated, calling attention to the dress code they say is a sexualization of young women and their clothing. The St. Johns County School District's student dress code states, the dress and grooming of students shall promote a positive educational environment and not disrupt the educational activities and processes of the school. It says all students' clothing that is immodest, revealing, or distracting in character is unacceptable. In a statement, the district says further the administration at BTHS, as with all of our school administrators, the expectations on student dress for all in a manner that is respectful and is not intended to be unfair to any group of students. The district says there have also been some inconsistencies with information on social media. As for dress code violations, as of this afternoon, 7 girls and 5 boys received dress code violations today. Looking back on Friday, according to the district, 31 violations were given to female students. Our coverage on this matter continues tonight at 10. We'll introduce you to the student who started the Change.org petition on Friday that has more than 3,200 signatures to date. We're also told the principal and his administrative team will meet with students and parents about this matter in the coming days. Reporting live in St. Johns County, I'm Zach Lashway, Channel 4, the local station.
And speaking of petition, we're not going to take you to a school. We're not going to take you to a school that has like 1,100 signatures on a petition arguing the high school's dress code, that argument that the high school's dress code is just sexist. And let me tell you, I'm going to tell you something right now. Your dress code is not sexist. It's there to create a positive learning environment. Y'all may have different opinions, but I speak for the school, for every school district. I don't work with the school. I side with the school. No ifs and buts. Take a look at this one.
Feel the school's dress code needs a little updating after more than 40 students were found violating it Wednesday.
A petition that's already pulled in more than 1,000 signatures as of Wednesday argues that the current policy is sexist. 8 on your side's Allison Henning joining us now live from Sarasota High School to explain. Allison.
Keith, Stacy, good evening to you both. So the student who created this petition, she's actually the student government president here at Sarasota High School, and she tells me the overwhelming support she's received so far from students, parents, and alumni is signaling that it is time for some change. Administrators at Sarasota High School started cracking down on dress code violations Wednesday after nearly an entire school year of lax enforcement. Principal David Jones told students about the renewed enforcement efforts Monday, with this message going out to parents Tuesday afternoon.
I should have been doing a better job, but when you're focused on masks and social distancing and traffic patterns and getting kids in class and quarantine.
In all, more than 40 students were found to be in violation Wednesday, including the creator of this petition, who shared these photos with 8 on your side of other female students pulled from class. She says they were considered a distraction. Principal Jones admits far more female students were dress coded for midriff shirts and short shorts than male students for sagging pants and tank tops.
Is that sexist? In my heart of hearts, absolutely believe it's not.
The student government president is putting together a committee to work with Principal Jones in redesigning the current dress code. He feels there are certain elements of the policy that can and should be changed.
Hopefully we'll get some good input and kids can have a healthy, productive way of really making some meaningful changes.
And Principal Jones tells me a teacher here is going to be helping with these students' efforts to effectuate some change. He says a presentation could go before the school board by this summer. Live in Sarasota, Allison Henning, 8 on your side.
And I hope it did. We're back in a moment. This dress code thing continues on Monday with a girl by a child named Lee Summary, who broke a dress code for a whole week. Now, this is unacceptable behavior. We'll have that and more on Monday, along with advice from Celeste Garcia. That's all of this edition of Cut Me a Break Saturday going to Sunday. We'll see you again for Cut Me a Break Monday. And I should point out, Cut Me a Break will be on sometime this week. All next week, Cut Me a Break, and then we'll do Monday and Wednesday. We'll be off for the rest of the week because of Christmas, so we'll have that for you. So just want to let you know. Good night, everyone.